All right, so one of my friends reached out to me because his website got attacked, and coincidentally I have a tutorial for that, but my tutorial is a little bit vague, so I decided to come up with a second series for that. So as I said on my first video, if you're using a a CDN like Cloudflare, you also need to double check there if there is a redirects, and then we can proceed on this troubleshooting. So double check the first video that I created. So yeah, so once you have done that first step, we need to back up first all our WordPress website. So you need to go into your hosting provider and go to your file manager, and then go into the public_HTML folder. So back up that entire file, zip it, and then you need to zip to file because we would not import all of our files into our fresh website. So again, go into the file manager, back up all your public_HTML. So just right click and click on archive to zip it, to compress it. And then second is you also need to have a backup, a zip file of your WP content. Okay, so once you have that, you can then delete the files in your public HTML. So delete all of the things in here. Okay, so there's still some injection happening that I need to fix, because I forgot. Actually, I already run a double update query into my MySQL. So yeah, let's just jump in on that later. So you'd back up all the files, and then you need to install a fresh website once you have deleted everything into your public HTML. But again, back up everything. So in a hosting provider, most of the hosting provider has a one-click WordPress installation. So if you're using Hostinger, you can easily install a WordPress website. And then once you already installed the fresh WordPress website, you go back with your file manager. Okay, file manager, WP content, and then go into public_HTML. Now I would assume that all of the files in here are fresh. There's no ads.txt, or if you have installed or uploaded a verification like Webmaster Tools, it shouldn't be there because it's a fresh WordPress website. Okay, so once you have installed a fresh WordPress website, you need to remove the WP content, because you will be replacing that with the existing WP content you have. So remember, we have two zip file. We have the public_HTML and the WP content. So you delete that, and then you upload the WP content zip, the existing WP content zip on your old file, on your old website, and then just unzip it. Okay, so once you unzip that, I would assume as well that you don't have a WP config because it's a fresh website. So you need to set up your database in your hosting provider. So you go back to your panel and go into the database and then management, and then you create your database. And then once you already created your database and your password, you can then just open your phpMyAdmin. So for example, this is the database that you created. You open your phpMyAdmin, and then you import the existing database, database that you have. And yeah, I forgot as well, aside from backing up your public HTML and WP config, you also need to download your old your old database, MySQL. So as an example, let's say this is my old SQL. You open the WP-admin, and then not WP, phpMyAdmin, and then you need to export your old database. So click on export, and it should generate for a .sql file like this. Okay, and then again, once you created your new database, you need to open your new database. Just go into the phpMyAdmin, and then you need to import your old or your existing database. So how to import? You just need to select the import menu, and then you click on browse your computer, and you just import the SQL, and then you click on OK. Now, you're ready good, I believe. So once you're ready, import that. You go back to your file manager, so public HTML, and then you set up your WP config, because I believe there's no, it will look like this. Let me rename that. So when you open your website, your fresh website, because you haven't set up the HTML, the MySQL yet, you will see something like this. So once you've already created your database, you need to import your new database credentials. So let's say, like for example, this is your new database credential. So you put that, you put the database name, you put the database username, and then you put in the password. But again, before you import the database in here, before you fill in the database details, you need to import first the existing database into the phpMyAdmin, because this is a fresh WordPress website. If you like fill in the credentials, you won't see all your existing posts. So make sure that you import first your existing MySQL before filling in the credentials. So yeah, so once you fill in the credential, you also need to double check. Let me go back with, let me rename back the WP config. Okay, so once you already created or fill in your database and you already have a WP config, because it will automatically generate a WP config once you have filled in the credential, you also need to double check your phpMyAdmin if there is an injection happened. Because in most cases, if it's a WordPress attack, they will not just inject something in your WordPress files, but also in your database. So as an example in here, I'm going to show you, actually, I retrieve one of the posts that has an injection, which is this one, Tailwind. These are like the injection. They use regex or something on this. So yeah, obviously this is super spammy and automated, like super backdoor. So how you can remove them in bulk? Well, obviously you can also manually remove that by clicking on edit, but what if you have 1,000 posts or 100 posts? It's not an ideal. So what you need to do is go back to your phpMyAdmin, and then let's say as an example, we're going to search in this one, best NFH jersey. But if we search that, and I want to select all the tables into our database, and then also in here for the WordPress questions and stuff, and in here for the Yoast SEO links. So how we can fix that? You can use in the query selector. I can remove, get all of the wording in here. So what I'm gonna do is I will copy all the column table, which is the WP config comments, because these are the effective tables, and then WP to options, and then the WP SEO links. So the code you will need to do is, oh, okay. So basically you need to run a query into your MySQL. So we're going to start first on cleaning. As an example, I revert this back for you to see how I clean up in bulk using the query parameters. So yeah, so I'm going to grab this one for you to see. And then in most cases, this post in here sit on the WP post. So go back to your phpMyAdmin and look what is the name table prefix you use. Let's say post. So this is what you use, WP. That is the prefix. And then the table columns, if you're going to open that. So this is the table name. And then mostly this thing in here, this wording in here, this body thing, it's normally sit on the post content. So where is my notepad? So post content. Okay, now we need to run this query. So basically we want to update the W post table and then set the post content, this one, find the content, find any post content that has this word, or we need to replace that with this. And then we will be replacing it with an empty string. And then we need to add where post like is like this. So if you want to follow this tutorial, I'm gonna post my article version so you can copy paste the code, and I'll try my best to provide some detailed explanation as well. So you're not, I mean, you will be cleaning most of the time the table. So you're not just cleaning the post, but also the other thing that I have note, like comments options. If you're using a plugin like SEO Yoast, you need to clean that, or the easier way is just delete the plugin and then reinstall a new one. So if the injection happened on the plugins, then just delete the plugins and install a fresh plugin. So, but WP option is part of a WordPress, and even WP comments is part of a WordPress. So you really need to run a query into your phpMyAdmin. So, and obviously WP post is part of a WordPress, a default WordPress. So yeah, so I'm gonna run that, copy that, and then in here, so if I go into the structure, again, where did I grab this one? Just want to give you so you won't get confused. I grabbed this name on the table, database table, which you can find in here. Post, this one, and then I grab this name here. Basically, I am replacing any string or any word that has this with an empty string, and this table column is this one. This is where this string, this list of string injected. Others are post title, which is not included. Post script are fine. These are all clean except for this. Okay, so go back to the code. I'm going to copy that, go into your SQL, and then you just need to paste that code again. Back up your what you want database if you're not sure. So, but hopefully you already understand. It already makes sense to you what's the meaning of this code. And then you just need to click and go. And then if you see here 4 rows is affected, if I'm going to refresh that now, so you notice that the code that called the text that called best NFH jersey is already removed into your injected blogs. And I'm gonna run again to just double check custom NBA jersey. So I'm gonna run again. And then let's click another update. Then let's go, click on go, another row submitted. This should be removed as I expected. Custom NBA is removed. Now, again, with the other, like, let's say this one, WP SEO Yoast. But for me, the best approach is I'm just gonna delete the plugin. If taking too long to do that, it won't take long to reinstall and install it. But let's say for WPU thing, so that really go back to the database, search for the table, and let's see which column that is injected. Oh, let's run it. It's easy to run a search. So let's go back, and then I'm gonna run a search. And then I want to target all of the tables and click OK. Let's see. Let's test another table aside from WP post. So WP social comments as an example, even though it's just a one watch, but just giving you an example. So this one seems to be, so if we click that and we'll search this, Control F, Night Max. But actually that will take too much. I would rather just go into my WP content and delete all of the posts. Like all of this can be deleted. I think the most crucial part is the WP post. post content, and you can just easily delete all of this, all the content, all the comments, or you can also like disable the discussion comments, but we'll cover that later if you want me to create a tutorial for that. But for me, just focus on cleaning your post content table column, post content column. So yeah, if this is a lot, like I know this is a lot, you can then just do something like this: 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and obviously you need to change the wording. So I'm gonna grab that. Others like SEO Yoast, you can uninstall it. WP option might be you can refresh it. This may be linked. WP options. Comments, you can delete all of the comments easier, but with regards to the post content, that is something that needs to remove into the phpMyAdmin using the query if you don't want to be manually removing all that leads into the post. So yeah, so I'm gonna grab that, and then I will just replace all of this wording in here. Good. I'm going to remove this, that, and the list goes on. Okay, so you can run a multiple, update into your phpMyAdmin. Let's just remove this one. Then I'm going to copy that and go back to my phpMyAdmin, go to the BookwormHead, and then go to my SQL, and then you paste that and click on OK. And then all 4 rows are updated. Refresh the page, and it's not just this page. All of the page that got injected that has this string will be also like updated. So it would be really good to yeah, easier way for you to remove things versus like manually removing them. So yeah, that hope it helps. There's still other things to cover, but I think that's the holy grail of fixing your WordPress website. And don't forget as well, before cleaning everything, change your password, change your login credentials, and then after you clean all of the things, before you clean things, you add a firewall into your HTA access here, into your file manager, into your HTA access in the WordPress. So in the HTA access, you can set up what are the only IP address that can access the WP admins, or something like some sort of basic security configuration, which I don't really do it on my site. I don't really work on my site most of the time, but like I think I should really have at least love on my site and work on it. So yeah, hope that helps.